Anyway, so there's a lot to talk about in terms of what needs to change, and you're gaining a lot of insight right now if you allow yourself to sit with what it feels like to actually have to think before you say anything that goes too far. I understand that you're intelligent and you're not always reactive, and that's not always true. Right now, though, it's just important to be careful because your words have a lot of weight to them. You can feel like an Aquarius with all that you feel, and then there's so much Aquarius happening right now, and you feel very much like yourself too, but yourself in such a raw way, which is beautiful. It's just can be also threatening, as the ocean is. So until your season, I would say what's needed. Because you're gaining a lot of insight. It's so funny because when I was thinking about doing your reading, the Hermit came up in my mind. And it's funny that that's the first card out. There could also be a Virgo in your life who has something to say to you and really needs you to listen. If you're going reacting, cool. Saying what you need to say, important. Just know you might want to wait until your season to say it. It could also be important to just be really clear about your position, whatever that means to you at this point. And then we have you seeing how to create new from this situation. Create new life for yourself too. For the structure that you're creating in your life and how you want to continue that. Knight of Pentacles, the Chariot, Five of Cups, then we have the Queen of Cups and the Three of Cups. So you want things to move faster than they are, and your words are going to say that, but again, they have weight to them. Can you back up everything you say right now? Everything that you're thinking, everything that you're feeling, everything that you're being forced to sit with, being forced to see. That quick turning and that fast moving progress that you want, just put it into your work. Put it into how you want to work things, how you want to move. It's like acting like a Cancer, because the Cancer card came out. Also, if there is a Cancer in your life, they might be lying. They might be showing you exactly who they really are, and you might need to either really be there for them. It could be a close friend who's going through something, having the Five of Cups next, or set an example. That's kind of what this is. That's what this is showing me. If you want a foundation, or if you want something so bad that you're willing to say something that you know could be detrimental, or do something that you know could be detrimental, make sure it's coming from a place of love. And even if it is, know that it's still not going to change as quickly as you want it to. It's like, I was just talking to someone the other day, and it's like with all of these, everyone out there doing astrology, and everyone's going to say and do what they want to say and do. But hyping up everything and saying great change, everything, huge shifts. Yeah, huge shifts need a minute to play out in human form. Nothing changes in a day. You know that, but it's really time for you to see that and kind of strategize a little bit more. That's what this reading's saying to you. Take things as they come. Don't assume your position until your season. Don't be so sure about your position until your season, because you're gaining a lot of insight about old cycles and ways of doing things, how those are being restructured, and you might need to hold back for a moment. Address things clearly as you can. If you can't address it clearly, don't address it yet. And if it's already happened for you, then know that this month, that this time could be a good time to work it out. Or, call yourself out. Or in nicer terms, just show up. You have the crystallization is having you show up differently. So it's not for you right now. It's always important to align your words and your actions for sure. But right now it's more about your actions and how you handle situations and how you see yourself in those situations in the future. Especially in terms of how you work, who you work with. But also about how you see yourself and how others see you. Don't take anything too personal right now. I know that's hard to say, but anything that you're triggered by, just notice it and sit with it. We're all grieving, and I think you know that better than anyone. There's so much grievance happening, layers of it just coming to surface for some. Layers of it where you get how the water can be so cold, so stingy, but yet so warm and just so comforting. You're crystallizing, and it's so important for you to understand that, because your season is going to allow you to bring the 5 of Cups to the 3 of Cups. So this could be a card of indulgence or overindulgence, but this very clearly says to me that you're truly learning the art of understanding, or just beginning to really, really understand that this grieving process can also be celebratory in a way that's helpful. That this process that you've learned and have had to, manage for a long time, probably longer than most, that it can become something new. It can become something that we learn to do in a way that's not so hard or harmful, and that we could do it in a helpful manner. And I think that's really beautiful, because you're becoming so much more of who you are and your authenticity through this time, through Aquarius season, and your intuition is going to prove to you. So your intuition will guide you to speak if you need to, but just don't force yourself right now. There's just so much changing, especially needing to be sat with by everyone, but by you, because again, your words, your presence has the ability to affect people just by you being there. It's powerful. So it's time for you to acknowledge that and decide, how do you want to use that? Because the Queen of Swords says you could be feeling much like an Aquarius right now. And I get the crystallization can make you feel like you're disassociating from things that you feel like, I can't let that go because it's important to me. And how's it going to show that I'm compassionate enough, blah, blah, good enough, all those things. You are. You need to disassociate sometimes. It's actually important. Because then you're able to receive those messages that you need to maybe be the antidote. That's my favorite word, so I use that a lot. So to be able to get what you need for this time. In terms of love, if there's another Pisces in your life, I don't see it being, I can see that being promising, but not the Cancer. If it's a Virgo, it could be a Virgo. I think this is really about work. But if there is a Virgo in your life, I think that it's important for you not to respond until you're ready. And again, I just think your season is when you start to understand and able to put to words what you're crystallizing right now. So patience, and know that you're just becoming so much more of you. I love you. I'm here for it. I know. Breathe. My email's below to work with me one-on-one. And more things on the horizon. I know I've been saying that, but it is happening, which is cool. So excited for you and for your season. So much strength. I love you so much. And we'll look at the cards. Pisces. So what do we got here? Lots of insight about the structure in which certain things have been created. Also a lot of insight about masculinity, earthly, physical masculinity. This also may mean that you have a great conversation with someone, with maybe a Virgo even. They might have something really important to say to you. Virgos are coming up really strong, which is interesting. So Virgo is also your polarity. And sometimes they say things as if they were an air sign. You need to listen to them, because you guys have a lot to discuss. Being Virgo's the one who helps the change in the physical, in the earthly structure, that mutable earth. And you have this ability to get rid of and disinfect and help heal through the waters, right? So there's some insight from your polarity. I haven't done the Virgo reading. No, I have done the Virgo reading, so you might want to watch that too. It gives you insight about what you want for, not only what you want, but how you want to build things, because Virgo knows at this point that it takes time to build something really solid. But first, because they've been through so much, so many hard conversations, so many things that they've had to discover about themselves, but now they're finally on this place of really following that path and knowing that no matter how hard they work, things are not going to work quicker, but they have to work because it's going to continue to build things, which in turn makes things go quicker. I hope that makes sense. For you, it's about not discrediting anything that you have that has been slow, but now you get this opportunity to take on this very Cancer-like way of moving with things without having to know what others think of you or how you're perceived. It's like, no, it's just time to move on, and it's time to move on from and move through the heavy now. Because these aren't heavy. This is someone who has no intention of following through. Also, which means you might have issues with a Cancer. Or you might have to say something to someone who has this vibe about them that you may not have wanted to, but you need to. Important conversation. It may not solve everything right away, but it's a part of the movement. And the 5 of Cups is about the grieving, holding space for you and for what you need to hold space for personally. And learning that this death that we're all going through, this death that you know all so well, and yet have this real capability to make it celebratory for yourself. It doesn't mean you have to be happy. It means you can cry and celebrate. Very Taurus-like too. So Taurus on the bottom of the deck is like, hey, you can do this. These 3 cups can become victorious, actually. As crazy as it is, that doesn't happen a lot. You have this power right now. And I remember talking to you about it in the beginning, but it's about sitting back and observing like a Virgo. Not acting too quickly. It's not going to get anywhere faster. I know the water likes to do that, but this crystallization that's happening, it's sparkly, it's beautiful, it needs to be seen in that frozen state. Because that's what's going to bring even more magic and sparkle when it thaws out again. Because you're changing, you're current. This is so beautiful and so powerful, and I hope you see that. And I hope you know that it's going to continue to flow. But this month needs you to be Aquarius, Virgo, Earth, in the sense of like, observe. The Earth is on the move right now. Water and fire need a little bit more time, and that's okay. You've been running shit for a while, so it's time for you to take a step back and see what really needs to be frozen, for lack of a better term. I love you so much, and I look forward to see what becomes of this. I love you, I love you, I love you, and I will see you next month. Information below to work with me one-on-one.